Good day, everyone. Today, we will talk about global perspectives and 21st century skills, UNESCO and OECD reports, and SDG4. So, why we need to talk about this? These are important because they prepare us not only as learners, but also as future leaders and responsible global citizens. But before that, let us read the objectives. By the end of this lesson, learners will be able to explain the concepts of global perspective, 21st century skills, UNESCO and OECD education frameworks, and SDG4. Analyze real-life education issues and connect them to global reports and SDG4 targets. Value the importance of global perspective 21st century skills in shaping responsible global citizen. So, what is global perspective? It is a broad way of looking at issues not only through a local or nation lens, but by considering their effects worldwide. So, this means that when we analyze problem, we don't just ask, what does it mean for my community? We also ask, how does this affect the rest of the world? A global perspective involves broad awareness of events and trends, recognizing the interconnectedness of economies and societies, developing cultural and applying critical thinking from multiple viewpoints. For example, when students study climate change, they don't look at its effect in the Philippines, but also in other countries like Bangladesh, the US, or island nations like Maldives. By doing this, we see how one global problem requires a collective solution. So, why is this important? In business, manager can identify opportunities worldwide and adapt to international rules. In education, students learn empathy, adaptability, and also critical thinking. For individuals, it builds respect for diversity and responsible citizenship. Critical thinking. It promotes the ability to analyze issues from multiple angles, considering their goals implication. Example, a company with global perspective might source materials or establish manufacturing facilities in country with lower labor costs, while also being aware of trade restrictions and regulations. Now, let's proceed to 21st century skills. 21st century skills are the abilities we need to succeed into this fast changing world. These go beyond memorization. They focus on what we call the four C's. First, critical thinking, creativity, communication, and collaboration. So, this means that instead of just asking facts, students must be able to solve problems, share ideas, work with others, and think creativity. These are also include technology and media skills, knowing how to find and use information responsibly, understanding media messages, and using ICT effectively. And lastly, life and career. Life and career skills like flexibility, leadership, initiative, productivity, and cross-culture skills. For example, students today might collaborate with peers internationally online to create a research project. This is not just about academics, it's training them to work in a global environment. So, 21st century skills make students more adaptable, employable, and capable of solving global changes. UNESCO and OECD. Now, let's see how international organizations help develop these skills. UNESCO leads global effort in education. It coordinates partnerships, gives policy guidance, develops frameworks like the Education 2030 Framework for Action, and monitors progress through the Global Education Monitoring Report, or GEM. UNESCO also highlights challenges like the $100 billion funding gap many countries face to achieve education targets. So, this means UNESCO help countries know where they stand and how to improve. Meanwhile, the OECD collects and analyzes data on education systems through its PISA program. It compares students' performance in reading, math, and science across countries. This helps identify strengths and weaknesses. The OECD also works on capacity building, like PISA D initiative, to help developing countries manage and use assessment data. So together, UNESCO and OECD guide governments in creating evidence-based education policies that prepare students for a globalized world. So, SDG4, quality education. Finally, let's connect everything to Sustainable Development Goal 4, or SDG4. SDG4 aims to ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all. So it means that education should not only be available, but also fair, meaningful, and lifelong. So there are key aspects: inclusivity and equity, education for everyone, regardless of gender, status, or ability. Quality education, learning that is relevant and leads to positive outcome. Lifelong learning, opportunities from childhood to adulthood, and Education 2030 frameworks. So for example, free primary and secondary schooling, scholarships for marginalized groups, and inclusive classrooms for children with disabilities are all parts of achieving SDG4. So, why is it important? It is important because education is a fundamental right. It derives other goals like health, decent work, and climate actions. It has transformative power, helping people think critically, understand values, and build a sustainable future. To conclude our topic, global perspective allows us to see beyond our borders and think collectively. 21st century skills prepare us to adapt, collaborate, and thrive in a changing world. UNESCO and OECD provide global guidance, policies, and data to improve educational systems. And SDG4 remind us that education is a right for all and foundation of a better, fairer world. So, this means that developing global perspectives and 21st century skills is not just about school. It is about preparing ourselves to be responsible, capable, and caring citizens of the world. That's all for today, and thank you.